They're breaking everything!
Alright, in this episode, you're gonna see a lot of things, but one thing that we're gonna go over is a big piece of wood, a keel. What's wrong with it and what we're gonna do with it. Hi, I'm Ben.
And I'm MP. We love the ocean, so we decided to make it our home by buying a massive wooden schooner, which is unfortunately sinking.
A lot of people believe our boat is doomed, but we refuse to settle on that thought, and we are willing to do whatever it takes to bring it back to its former glory.
Join us on this refurbishing journey and wish us luck. Good morning, everyone. We are beyond excited today.
Today our keel is going to be removed. We don't know if it's going to be finished today or not, but we're gonna jack the boat up from the keel, support the boat and drop the keel down. Now we have just realized that some of the bolts that hold the screw in are actually out of the keel, so it means that at least the amount of bolt or screw that's out of the keel has been rotted or eaten away.
If you watch our previous episodes, you might know by now that the boat was never lifted before, besides when we did it. So the keel was never actually seen. It was always under the sand or underwater level, so no one has ever seen the keel. So of course, as we are the first people having a good look at it, it was expected we will find some bad surprises. The best surprise is the keel is completely dead and gone and hollow and eaten and rotten and whatever else, and you will need to get changed. To evaluate your keel, you have to use your 5 senses. First, your sight. You look at it. Can you see the keel is not straight? Second, you listen to it. This is how a rock solid wood sounds like.
Don't hit the dog.
And this is how a keel sounds like. Like tak, tak, and tuk, tuk. So you hear that your keel is gone. What else can you do? You can smell it. And the keel smells so rotten and so bad. Another sense, the touch. I touch it and I feel that it's not smooth and straight as I hoped. And the last one is taste it. But I'm gonna skip that one because I bet it's horrible.
I think she should taste it, don't you?
Never.
So, just measuring this part of the keel, I would say up to where it starts being shells and whatnot, well, you have 16 centimeters. Let's go and have a look halfway. Halfway from the hull to where it starts being shells, 19 centimeters. Let's go to the back and have a look how much we have there. I can already tell by looking at it that this part of the keel is bigger. Here we have a whopping 30 centimeters. As it gets a bit smaller here, where we had 16, 19, here we already have a 21 centimeter keel. So even though the back part is probably normally bigger anyway, we have lost a lot of keel along the way. So that is another reason why we're going to have this replaced.
Cuddy boy.
The boat is being lifted at the moment. As the keel gets jacked up a few centimeters or millimeters every time, a wedge is jammed into it. So here are the jacks. A wedge is jammed under the keel, so it gets lifted with support, and later we can support the boat and drop down the keel.
with our good old friend Jack, but what I want to show is the screws, how we can really see them. We really shouldn't see them, they should be inside the keel. So this really shows how rotten and bad our keel is.
That's better. This keel has been jacked up a little bit already, as you can tell. It needs to be resting on here. It's now up to there. And we're basically playing a game of Jenga to see how many blocks we can stack on top of each other without the boat falling. You can see as the pressure points of the boat change that lots and lots of this keel starts crumbling away. So it's a good job we're replacing it, and it happens now and not when we're in the water. So we've finished lifting up the back of the boat. Now the jack has moved to the front. We're just trying to jam it under the keel right now, and we'll start the same process as what we did in the back. Lift up the keel while jamming more wood under the keel as well as under the hull to keep it up. And when that's finished, we're gonna pull out the jack and pull out the pieces of wood that we jammed under the keel, so then later we can drop it.
I'm gonna show you something that I'm really excited about, that it looks like magic, but now our keel is floating. It's completely on air, and I don't know, even though I trust the work everyone's doing, I couldn't really picture it happening, and it's really nice to see that, yeah, it works.
So this is the first board that's been taken out. You can see all my temporary fixes that I've been trying to hold water out for. Here's another piece of something. Another rag. The first of many. So how this is going is cutting bit by bit in blocks like you can see here, and using the heaviest hammer and wrench possible to grab them out. So I was stopping the water infiltration with all these tools, and now it's time to retrieve them and be able to use them again.
We are really excited, even though our boat is being broken down today, because it's the first step for it to be good again. So yeah, we are here. We don't really know the technical bits of changing a keel, of replacing a keel, but we are here holding Ava's hands for this moment.
And we want to learn as much as possible, so next time, hopefully never, this boat has to change a keel, we can get a lot more involved. And I know for the beginning we don't want to get too much in their way, but later on we'll be doing more and more of the work ourselves. This is some heavy work with some heavy wood, which we don't have much experience with at the moment, but that'll change. So the jacks have been removed from the back part of the keel, just to show you what 3 hours of jacking does. The jack was here, 2 jacks were here, as the keel got lifted a bit, lots of slots of wood were being slid under here just to lift it a little bit. At the same time, this tower was being built. A few towers like this were being built along the side, as well as that one over there. So all we have now to work with is this extra space. Here you can see very clearly that screw that shouldn't be sticking out. So the original keel would have been about down to here. Now they have some, now this can be removed and all these woods underneath it. Eventually the keel can be loosened from the boat, dropped down, and then we can start thinking about assembling and putting in that new keel. Super hot today. This gringo here is not tolerating it very well. Luckily under the boat there is a lot of shade, so it's nicer to work under a boat today than on top. I think we're about halfway, just over halfway with taking the second boards off, second line of boards. We've still got a little bit to do all the way up to here. Our engine room is getting some new ventilation. Maybe I should have done this during the trip. Just so you have an idea of where the boards have been taken out up to. This is the kitchen floor, the galley floor. So this would be exactly where the fridge and the washing machine are. After the next frame, you can see the engine, or at least the belts of the alternator. What's happening here? What's all this mess?
These are pieces of Java that now are resting in peace.
Resting in pieces.
Resting in pieces. We are breaking everything! It makes me nervous, but I'm really excited because we see so much rot going away. We found the sheep worms, shells, maggots, everything, and now instead of being there on the boat, they are here, gone. So I'm really happy.
And they're on your foot as well.
What? No.
So here's an example of what an innocent little hole or few holes from the outside can look like in the inside. As you can see, you've got some shells I've never seen in my life. The worms have probably died off, but look at the size of the holes that all this sea life makes inside wood if you don't take good care of it. Someone is enjoying our boat. It's about halfway that we took the second board out, but not the first board yet, so we're gonna have to do that still. That just requires a lot of sawing, hammering, and wedging wedges in between the frames and the boards. So all the first two boards are out already. All that remains is cutting these screws off. Not mentioning replacing these first ribs, frames of the boat. Looks like they've had their days. If anyone wondered what our caulking was made out of, this is coconut shell fibers. You know the outside of the coconuts, the hairs that you can rip off it? That's what our caulking is made of. First time I've seen that. I guess it kind of works until your boat starts sinking. So what's happened is all these very rotten ribs, 1, 2, 3, 4, and maybe even the 5th one, are the worst of the whole boat, simply because this is where that shower water was collecting and just rotting the boat from inside out.
Guess what this is?
If you guess, good job, because it really doesn't look like what it should be. This is the first sample that's been taken out of our keel. Oh,
This is crazy.
stinks as well. Everything on this boat stinks. So our first piece of the keel has been removed. That is the second part of the keel. So what we have to do here is just jam wedges through it, so bit by bit the keel drops down, and we're going to do it in bits. So we're leaving this because this is holding some of the front structure, and bit by bit it's going to be removed. We're busy having some bigger wedges built or cut, because these are just going straight through.
We are really happy, well, I'm really happy, I can talk for myself, that now that the keel started being removed, a lot of the rotten is being removed with it,
Yeah.
right? So our boat is less rotten right now than it was an hour ago, and it will be like that.
You might recognize this phrase: you've got to break the eggs to make the omelette.
Exactly.
So what we can do now, because they're all cut into little blocks, is actually see the structure and the quality of the planks that were taken off. So here, for example, is one plank that has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 holes in. But it's very important to see how the rest of the wood is, right? So even though it looks like you might just be able to fix a little bit over here, the actual plank looks like this and like this. So
Something really exciting that happened today is that we finally met our new keel. Aye.
meet our new keel slash resting bench that we can sit on during our rest until it's installed.
For now we are still taking the old keel from the boat, so this is not going to be installed now, but it's good that we have it already. We're going to start cutting because this big piece is going to be cut in half, so we have two longer ones, and the one that's under it is already in the right size.
What are the sizes?
7.5 meters for 15 centimeters high and 57 centimeters wide, and the bottom one is already 27, also 15 centimeters high and 5 meters long. So we're going to have 3 pieces making our long keel.
All right, we're in the workshop right now, and I'm gonna go over the people helping us right now. Clayton is one of our carpenters, as well as Eliu helping us out loads. MP, come. This is Beto, he's one of our carpenters as well. Lovely t-shirts, by the way.
This is Cassinho, he's an amazing painter. He did an amazing job on Marcelo's boat. This is Marcelo, he's also helping the other Marcelo on his boat, which is our neighbor.
Wait, let's introduce Marcelo then, because you're talking about
Okay, Marcelo, he's our neighbor that owns a very nice red boat. That's our neighbor.
that you can see in the background.
This is William, the guy that demolished in our boat, but I hope at one point he'll also help us build it, right? This is Zeka. He's the guy that went to Santos to help us doing some gambiarras on the boat, and he's doing an amazing job here as well. He's really an artist when it comes to carpentry.
But everyone here has been and will help us a lot, and we're super grateful. And even if we say they help us break the boat, they're only breaking it so we can rebuild it.
That's true.
We want to thank every single one of you again for watching our video and supporting us.
Yes.
We want to go and join Duca and Roberta out there in the sea. It's their first swim in the 2020 actually,
Yeah,
and the
today
last
is
one.
the last day of the year, but the video is the first video of the
Whatever,
year.
ignore timeline. We want to thank everyone for all your support and for helping us out on Patreon. We hope you enjoy the extra content, and also so much for the PayPal donations.
Thank you so much.
You guys are great.
We would like to wish you all a very happy new year, and also thank all the people who had supported us during the whole year, and welcome also our new patrons and the people who donated through PayPal. Thank you very much for your help and support. It means a lot to us.
So thank you, Bob.
Thank you, Bill.
Thanks, Chris.
Thank you, Paris.
Thank you, Franklin.
Thank you, Jean.
Thanks, Chichi.
And thank you, Bjorn.